save you, Ernestine, from the Sunken place right now. Hey guys, our favorite show about unwilling immigrants is back on television, and I am here for it. I am so happy Underground is back. They wasted no time getting right into it, so neither should we. So let's just start. If I had to pick a theme for this week's episode, it would be watch the women. Okay, the episode starts and we are in the most epic chase scene, standoff scene that I think I've ever seen on television. Honestly, I didn't know that I needed this scene so much until I saw it. It was to see Harriet Tubman with an axe in one hand and a rifle in the other in a standoff with slave catchers. She was talking about, I aimed it in this quick. Oh my god. First of all, I need to make that my phone background. I just haven't seen anything like that. I have never seen, I can't think of a time where I've seen, you know, two black women in a standoff with people and just really just running. If, you know, we all have like Clint Eastwood and everything, but imagine if we had had this on television. Imagine if we had had this in movies. Like, the world wouldn't be the same. Like, it's just giving me life. It's just beyond. I love it. I'm here for it. Also, a side note, the fact that these guys are out here, these slave catchers, or as Ben would say, these immigrant acquisition agents are out here doing all this for $5 is crazy to me. And then Rosalie comes up with her gun and says, oh, you don't have nothing yet. I mean, this is just, we see Elizabeth later in the episode. She's back. He's met by a new character, Georgia. It was a little awkward. I was like, you know, Georgia's really like, no new friends, man. I was so worried. I was worried for Elizabeth. I'm like, you're gonna get got. Georgia comes in. She introduces her to the other ladies. They are strapped. They're pulling out guns out of everywhere, out of pots and pans. And, you know, Georgia's reaching up in the counters, and like a secret compartment comes down with a pistol. Georgia welcomes her to the sewing circle. So we catch up to Ernestine, who is in the Sunken place. Ernestine! Snap out of it! Like, seriously, she's in the Sunken place. We see her, she wakes up and she's like inhaling something. I have no idea what this is. I try to look it up. I don't know. It's like some kind of hallucinogen. You basically see her like there's no escape for her. And we also start to see something that was very interesting in this episode, which is like the cycle of violence. Like, she's also in a cycle, not only in a cycle of abuse, but this like cycle of like going to the field, doing the drugs. This is something that Underground does so well with the women on the show. We see where their strength comes from, for the most part. And even if they're strong, they're rounded out. Sometimes when people try to have black women characters who are strong, instead of being positive, it dehumanizes them in a way. They withstand depression, turmoil, all these things, but we don't see anything underneath them. So why I love Ernestine's character and how it was handled here, we're seeing the weight of all of her past deeds kind of come down on her, crash down on her, and she's really struggling, and her only escape are to go to the Sunken place with these drugs, right? When Pearly May comes back and is basically telling her, talking about Sam, oh my gosh, yeah, even just the mention of Sam just throwing all of Ernestine's sins in her face. So if Ernestine gets herself out of this, it will be not because she's inexplicably withstands all this pain and suffering. It's because that she's quite literally looked her demons in the face and then kept going anyway. I have confidence that Ernestine is gonna make it. I mean, if there's anyone who could kill a ghost and make it look like an accident, it's Ernestine. John and Noah are closely tied in this episode, even though they are mostly like separate. And honestly, that scene where they were touching all on Noah and like going in this tea, like, I have never gotten a physical fight in my life, but I was ready to square up. I was like, dude. Ugh. And the judge that he cites, Justice James Wilson, I believe he was appointed to the Supreme Court, the first Supreme Court, by George Washington. And James Wilson was responsible, largely responsible for the 3/5 rule, which basically said that slaves were equal to 3/5 of a person. John is basically realizing through his court case that the justice system is corrupt. And Elizabeth tells him that we have to disrupt the system. So my question to you is, does running as a judge and still making decisions, does that disrupt the system, or is that being a part of it? And to just see the gallows explode. Just to see it all like go in flames, it was kind of great. Noah gets taken again! And they beat the crap out of John, but how many times have black people like felt that they were so close to justice and it's just snatched away? They face that because as soon as he signs the papers, as soon as he files the papers to run for office, he's shot. So this is what we're gonna do underground. This is how the season is gonna be, okay? Also a question, where's Kato? Where's Kato? This season premiere has literally been marked in my iCal for months as Kato is back in all caps. I need Kato now. Tell me your thoughts on this episode in the comments. I cannot wait for the rest of the season, what this will bring. This is one of the best shows on television. What a lovely way to spend my Wednesday nights. All right.